Greetings everyone, welcome to my studio where it's always all about art, history and culture. My name is ARTbyAKPOMIEMIE Erijaro. If this is your first time, you're most welcome. If you're returning, even better. Fantastic to have you here today. Today I've got for you two of some of my recent paintings. When I say recent painting, this is this year. That one, I did that one when did that happen again? Yes, early this year. No, last year. I do so much painting, sometimes I get it all mixed up. And that was done last year, it's done this year. And as you know, this is my favorite style, free flow, splash of colors, spontaneous impressionism. Today is about symbols again. I love symbols actually. There's so much in African folklore, mythology, that you see lots of symbols. And the symbols I'm using today is the tortoise. I say tortoise. So people say tortoise. Well, no, tomato. So I call this one the legend. This is just like this one, a splash of colors. And this again too, also a splash of colors. They both done in acrylics. Acrylics is my favorite mode of painting because I paint in oil as well, but I find acrylics a bit of when I want to be spontaneous, free flow with acrylic. I find the fluidity of the paint make me go faster, and it's boom 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 boom. I go with the flow, and sometimes with oil it does. I find oil a bit restrictive. Although I like oil though, but these two paintings is mainly done this way. Well, not mainly, it's done just in acrylics. Now this one, that question legend, this tortoise. This is the tortoise is one of those animals we have in African folklore, especially in my part of Africa, southwestern Africa, Nigeria to be precise. You have the tortoise. It's one of those animals that is used. It's a medium of our history, as you know. Is lots of our history is oral history, and our folklore. You get it from there as well, where we use stories, great stories to tell some of our tradition and some of our customs is embedded. So I call it from the legend because the tortoise in Urhobo culture is quite legendary. It's a superhero. The tortoise can do lots of wonders. In the animal world, the tortoise will outrun a cheetah. It will outsmart a leopard. It will outwit a fox. It's got such mythology around the tortoise that it's so rich, and it's something quite to behold. So it is used to tell lots of stories. That's why I called it the legend. And as you can see, it's just kind of striding on its own. And I hope you like it. It's quite beautiful splash of colors. I remember the last time I had an exhibition. It was one of the works that people love the most. And then we come to this one. This one, it's more in depth. This is called this is a SANKOFA bird. SANKOFA. I like that word. The SANKOFA is actually from the word SANKOFA is from the Twi language of the Akans. The Akans is the people of Ghana. And this bird in the Twi folklore, you see the bird here. It's the bird seems to be looking backward. Sometimes you see the bird is flying or is walking, but it's facing backward. And in its mouth, you see it's carrying an egg. See, it's carrying an egg. I made that egg. I made it gold. What's the symbolism behind the SANKOFA bird? It's in the Twi folklore. It says basically it's never too late or it's nothing wrong to go back and fetch. To fetch what? To fetch that which is lost. So the bird is moving forward, but it is going back now, looking backward to fetch that which is lost, which is the egg. This egg contains that, what are you going to call it actually? Is it the rich history, the rich culture, the rich tradition? I like this whole thing about the SANKOFA bird because I think primarily one thing about Africans that is so unfortunate is with the coming of the Arabs and the Europeans into the African space. Africans, we've lost a great deal of our tradition, our culture, our heritage. And that is why you can see Professor Ashanti, Katie Ashanti says, before you go diving, embracing wholeheartedly the ways and mannerism, custom, culture, religion, even spirituality of other people, ask yourself a simple question. How did my folks used to do this before? Look into it, and you will be amazed at what your folks did before the coming of the Arabs and the Europeans was very rich in all aspects. And we've lost a great deal of that. That is why Professor Wade Noble says the consciousness is fractured. The identity is damaged. So if you want to get that back, I think it helps. It helps to just look back. How was this thing done? And we live in an age now of enlightenment, education, Read. There's so much to read that we get most of all what we've lost. I'm so happy happy that many of our historians are writing in-depthly on our ways, and all you have to do is just get these books. And some of this, what we've lost in terms of our history, because Professor John Henrik Clarke says we've lost our historical memory. And many historians today, they're trying to bring out that historical memory. In some time ago, I did my bookshelf series where I listed a few books on African culture and African tradition, which I invite you, if you've not seen before, go and see, some of the books you might have read, refresh your memory, or some you've not read, just look into them. There is so much, and it is not only Africans who are saying this. We have many Europeans as well that have come into the terms that, no, these people of African descent have been greatly changed in recording of history. One great scholar in that cloth is Howard French. I think Howard French writes for the New York Times. He's a journalist with the New York Times, but he's written a great deal. And another European that has written a lot as well is he wrote The Black and Thinner. Oh, why do I forget this thing? Anyway, he wrote The Black and Thinner, and he tells a great deal about our history that we've lost. So I invite you to please look into some of all these books, do your own research, because I don't want to, because I can talk forever about our history and our cultures and traditions that we've lost, but I invite you to, look into some of writings of other people and make up your own mind and see how some of these things, because when you know some of all these things, well, it will not buy you a sandwich, but it helps to improve your self-worth really, and your appreciation of what John Henrik Clarke calls your geographical time and place in the history of the world. So yes, so please, it's not too late. The SANKOFA bird says, go back and fetch. Go back and fetch that which is lost. When you do that, your life is enriched. So that is just on that note on the philosophical reasons behind the SANKOFA bird and the legend. Two colorful paintings. I hope you like them. And let me know what you think about them. Of the two, I don't know which is my favorite. I love the two of them, but you make a choice. So once again, that is it for today. My name is ARTbyAKPOMIEMIE, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.